So we're looking at 2/5 of what number is 3/4. So if I know that we have 2/5 of some number, what do I need to model? 2/5. So I'm going to draw my whole piece. Since it says fifths, how many pieces do I need to split this into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces total. Let's go ahead and wait on that, Brian. So if I have 2/5, how many of those do I need to shade in?
2.
Why? Because it says 2/5, right? So here's 1/5, 2/5. Now it says 2/5 of what number is 3/4. So what are we trying to figure out? We're trying to figure out the whole, how big the entire thing is, right? And I know that I just have 3/4 right here. And this 3/4 from here to here is worth 3/4 of some number. What I don't know is how big this whole piece is. That's what I want to know. So if I have 3/4 divided by 2/5, I see that I have two sections. These two sections are worth 3/4. If I want to find out the unknown, this section, this section, and this section, I know that one of these unknown pieces is going to be the same size as one of these known pieces, right?
Yeah.
So how do I find out how big one of these pieces is? No, I can't do that. What if I just take half of 3/4? Will half of 3/4 tell me how big from here to here is? Yes, if I take 1/2 of, what does of mean with fractions? Multiply. 1/2 of 3/4. And then how many of those pieces will I have? How many fifths do I have total in my model? If I'm trying to find out the whole thing, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if I take half of 3/4, that's going to tell me how big one of these pieces is, right? But I don't have just one of these pieces. I have 5 of them. So what do I need to multiply by? Kirsty. Go, Ms. Lawrence. Okay, but I know that I can regroup all of these around because it's multiplication, right? So here's 1/2 times 3/4 times 5. So I'm going to regroup these to make it look like something you guys should recognize. So now I'm going to have 3/4 times 5 times 1/2. Because that's saying, okay, this half, I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 halves, right? Does everyone see how I'm taking 5 groups of 1/2? I could rewrite this as 3/4 times 5 halves. Now I want you to think of the original problem, 3/4 divided by 2/5. If I wanted to use my strategies to rewrite that as a multiplication, what would I do? What is the strategy that we have, that we know, that we've been covering for days and days now? Gerardo. Darn right. What am I keeping? Yes, Gerardo, you are keeping the 3/4. Then you're changing. And then the 2/5, what are you doing to the 2/5? Yep. So We know that the saying gets us right here, right? How does the model, let me get rid of this so we can see. How does the model relate to what we did with Gerardo's keep, change, flip? Let's look at this again. 3/4 divided by 2/5. It's the same thing as 2/5 of what number, we don't know what it is, equals 3/4. Well, I know from here to here is 2/5 of this whole number that I don't know. I know that just this 2/5 is worth 3/4. What I don't know is how big each one of these fifths is. But if I just take half of that one, half of the 3/4, 1/2 of the 3/4, that's going to tell me how big one of those pieces is. How many of those pieces do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So using my multiplication rules, I know I can flip-flop everything around. So I can end up rewriting it as 3/4 times 5 times 1/2. What is 5 times 1? 5. And then 2 times 1 is just going to be 2. So this expression simplifies to this. This is a long way of saying keep, change, flip works. This is how it works with the model, where I take half of the 3/4. I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, and that's what I end up with. Hey, let's actually solve this bad boy. What is 5 times 3? 15. What is 4 times 2?
8.
Right? Okay, how many times will 8 go into 15? It'll go in one time with how many left over?
7.
You guys recall how that works? Let's look at 15/8. I know that any fraction can be rewritten as a division sentence, can it? So let's take the little kids out at recess. Mom calls for lunch. Which one's going to make it inside the house first? The top, 15. How many groups of 8 will come out of 15? Just one. 1 times 8 is? 15 minus 8 is? 7. So I have a remainder. I don't like remainders. How can I rewrite this as a fraction? Yes, the very bottom number then becomes the very top number. Think of it that way. Then your divisor goes back to being your denominator. Just think, divisor begins with D, denominator begins with D. That's how you can relate that.